Shalom, friends. This is the Kiva Gersh with Israel in 5, and I want to invite you to take part in a very important fundraising campaign with Meir Panim, who will be supplying food to thousands and thousands of Israelis all over the country in these days leading up to Passover. Please go to israel5.org/donate for more information and to make a donation. Meir Panim will be supplying and distributing thousands and thousands of boxes of matzah, pre-made Passover Seder meals, pantry boxes, as well as giving out prepaid grocery shopping cards to families so they can shop for their own food with dignity. This is an incredible act of kindness that Meir Panim is embarking on, and one that is very necessary to make sure that all Israelis are taken care of for the Passover holiday, from those living under the poverty level to those serving on the front lines of this country. And especially after this unprecedented attack by Iran, these are times when Israelis need help even more. So many people and families dealing with PTSD, they need the financial support, they need the emotional support. Meir Panim can give them that support, and you can help Meir Panim be able to do so. Again, please go to israel5.org/donate to make your donation and make this Passover a celebratory one for all Israelis. Many years ago, Time magazine ran a cover story saying that Israelis don't really care about peace. Is this true? Shalom, my friends. This is the Kiva Gersh with Israel in 5, where we give you everything Israel in 5 minutes. Please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or want to keep the conversation going, please do so below in the comments. Israel and peace. One of the big accusations against Israel today is that Israel doesn't really care about peace. Israel doesn't want peace. That for some reason and somehow they want to keep this conflict going, and they want to keep this state of war happening with between it and its neighbors. It couldn't be further from the truth. In the end, this article that goes back to 2010 was really talking about how after many attempts of bringing regional peace, specifically peace between Israel and the Palestinians, Israelis have gotten comfortable with and okay with at least having security. That if we can't reach peace, our ultimate goal, a goal that has always been in the minds of Jews for thousands of years, at least we'll have security. And that's really what the article was talking about. Not saying that Israelis aren't really wanting peace, not really interested in peace, but because it's been so hard to create peace with some of our neighbors, that security is the next best thing. And there is a lot of truth to that, right? Because of what Israel has learned, the IDF, Israel's defense force, what it has learned through all of these years and all of these decades of this conflict, we have, as a country, as a military, have been able to provide ourselves with a high level of security, which is an incredible thing considering all the threats that exist all around us. But still, I do want to say peace is an ultimate goal of the Jewish people, of the state of Israel, from its founding leaders to its current leadership. Many of Jewish prayers will end with a prayer for peace, many of them, right? Really bringing it home over and over again, this idea that peace is an ultimate dream, vision, and reality for the Jewish people, both for ourselves and for the world. But at the same time, we know we're realistic. We know that there are true and real threats out there. We know that there are countries and leaders and terrorist organizations and people who want to see the state of Israel be destroyed. So with that vision of peace, we also understand the reality on the ground, and we're very, very realistic about it. But what I really want to share with you in this video is that there are two amazing times in Israel's history when we actually did accomplish peace. The first one was in 1979 with Egypt, and the next was in 1994 with Jordan. So just to give a little bit of historical context to these two peace treaties, right? These were amazing moments. Let's go back a little bit to 1967, the Six-Day War. Israel defeats three of its enemies, Egypt, Syria, and Jordan, simultaneously within 6 days. And Israel has captured land from each one of them. And literally, they're waiting by the phone for the phone to ring, right, from these countries, asking for a peace deal. Say, okay, give us back our land and we'll do a peace treaty with you. Israeli leaders were expecting these phone calls to come in shortly after the Six-Day War, and guess what? They never came in. A few months later, the Arab League met in Khartoum Sudan, and they came out with their three infamous no's, which said no peace with Israel, no negotiation with Israel, and no recognition of Israel. Israel realized, okay, we're not going to get a peace treaty out of this, and they held on to those lands that they got from each of these countries until a future date when maybe peace would be possible. Well, that date did come in the 1970s, a few years after the Yom Kippur War. The new leader, Anwar Sadat, made a radical switch, a revolutionary switch from his thinking on Israel that led to the Yom Kippur War. And he said, I want to make peace with Israel. He wanted to get the Sinai Peninsula back, which Israel had held on to since the Six-Day War in 1967. And through lots of negotiations and with tremendous help from America, both politically and financially, they were able to make this deal between Israel and Egypt. And in 1979, that peace treaty was signed on the White House lawn. It was a tremendous day. It was the first time Israel had ever made peace with one of its enemies. Egypt was the greatest of all enemies at that time. And it was an amazing day in and of itself, but Israelis and Israeli leaders thought that this was going to just open up the doors for more and more peace treaties to come with other Arab countries. That didn't happen. It took a good number of years, 15 years to be exact, for the next peace treaty to come with Jordan. And that came right after the Oslo Accords were signed in 1993. So kind of Jordan was taking advantage of the changing atmosphere and knew that if they didn't do it now, it might not happen again. And they wanted to gain both politically and even financially from that as well. Lots of details, not for now to talk about all these details. But what we do see is that Israel did make peace with two countries, with Egypt and with Jordan, and we've had peace with them ever since. We haven't gone to war with them at all. We haven't fought them. They haven't fought us. It's an incredible thing. Is it a warm, loving, we're best friends now peace? Not at all. It's what we call the cold peace. But it's a cold peace that absolutely works. And it has helped Israel tremendously, right? Have less borders on which it is fighting and having to deal with attacks from, and focus its energies on other hotspots. As we know, we have many other ones of those. I do want to conclude by saying, as I just briefly mentioned, right before 1994, with the Jordan peace treaty, there was an attempt to make peace with the Palestinians. Those were the Oslo Accords. That's a whole story in and of itself. Maybe we'll do another video on that another day. That gave some hope to some Israelis, those who supported it. It pretty much split the country in half. Those who supported the Oslo Accords, this attempt at peace with the Palestinians and the Palestinian leadership, Yasser Arafat at the time, and those who didn't. It was a very, very divisive thing, became a whole history in and of itself. In the end, did not accomplish what it wanted to, what it set out to accomplish. So you can't say that was a peace treaty, although that was an attempt at peace. Kind of coming back to our original idea here is that Israelis are very interested in peace, and they want to live in peace. They want to just be able to live and go to work and raise families and be in their Jewish homeland and continue their Jewish heritage without all of the threats on their existence from all surrounding borders. We're a couple of steps closer to that with the peace treaty with Egypt in 1979 and Jordan in 1994, but of course we have a lot of work left to do. And in the meantime, thank God we are and have a strong army with strong security, and looking forward to the future when things will only get better.